Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is your daily horoscope for October 15th, 2021, which is a Friday. So let's get started and we'll talk about something that we spoke about yesterday, but it's happening today, and that is the Sun Jupiter Trine, while the Moon is conjunct Jupiter and Mars is there too. So this is a lot of energy and a lot of positive energy. So let's break it down one by one. And this is 5 a.m. Pacific time. If you are elsewhere in the world, you can always convert the Pacific time to your time zone to know when the energy is going to happen for you. And the Sun is our identity, it's our consciousness, it's our soul, and Jupiter is the planet of blessings and rewards and healing and lessons and wisdom. So this is a moment here where we could receive some blessings when it comes to our identity, or we could feel some sort of healing, or we could receive some sort of wisdom, right? Because Jupiter is wisdom as well, and the Sun is our soul, so deep wisdom. And this is overall a very positive energy, and the Moon is conjunct at this point, so it does involve our emotions. We are feeling very optimistic, joyous, hopeful at this point, and with Mars involved with this energy, we have that courage, that drive, that willpower to take action and make things happen, because Mars is the planet of making things happen. It's the planet of action and drive and getting things done, and it's conjunct the Sun, our identity, and trining Jupiter, a planet that magnifies everything it touches, that is conjunct the Moon. So a lot of positivity here, a lot of energy to move forward and get things done, a lot of it. Alternatively, there is a slight negative. I will just mention it real quick. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's worth mentioning, is that Mars is also the planet of anger and frustration, and Jupiter magnifies everything it touches, right? But this is a positive aspect. So this manifestation that I'm going to tell you about is highly unlikely, but it is still possible, and that is a feeling of feeling angry and frustrated, because Mars is also anger and frustration. But more than that, I think it's a moment where we are feeling good emotionally, we are feeling good in who we are, in our soul, and that is giving us a lot of energy, Mars's energy, to take action and move forward. And this could happen because we receive some sort of blessing, or some sort of reward, or some sort of healing, or just a piece of wisdom, because Jupiter is wisdom. But this is a very positive energy. So that's 5 a.m. Pacific time. Now, moving on, before we move on, actually, I do want to mention something real quick. Mercury here is still opposing Chiron. It is going to be in this position for a while, opposing Chiron, because Mercury is retrograde and it's really slow right now. So it's just going to be making this aspect for a long time. And this could be a feeling of feeling some sort of pain, some sort of wound when it comes to our thinking, our logical mind, or something connected to our health or job, because Mercury is all these things and Chiron is the planet of our pain and wounds, but it's also the planet that heals us. So at this point, we could be feeling a little wounded, a little hurt, and that feeling leads to some communication, some insights, some piece of information that helps us heal. But the feeling is bittersweet. And I do want to mention, and I didn't mention this yesterday, I should have, is that Uranus here is still in a quincunx to Mercury, right? So this feeling of feeling hurt, or this feeling of communicating something to heal ourselves, can come about suddenly and unexpectedly. To sum it up, this energy can make us feel a little low, a little wounded, a little hurt. And the goal here is to work through that pain, work through those wounds, communicate or think things out, almost like indulge in Mercury things to heal ourselves. Right? Mercury is also writing and things like that. So we could heal ourselves through other means as well, rather than communicating. But Mercury is primarily communication. So it could be healing through communicating, healing through writing, healing through realizations and thoughts, healing through changing up our routine, health, job, lifestyle, diet, exercise, all Mercury things, or healing through changing up the immediate environment, maybe moving things around a little bit, things like that. And this energy can happen in bursts, because Uranus is still aspecting Mercury. And moving on, the next important thing happens in the evening at 8 p.m. And what's happening here is that the moon's going to change signs. And yeah, there it's happened. The moon has entered the sign of Pisces. Now, the moon changes signs every 2.5 days, and when it does, the focus in our life, the energy in our life shifts in subtle ways. The moon has been in Aquarius up until now, right? Up until the evening today, it will be in Aquarius, and the moon gets stressed when it's in Aquarius, and that's because Saturn is there asking us to work hard and be disciplined when it comes to our emotions, and the moon does not like that. So these past 2.5 days up until today, 8 p.m., will feel intense, will feel like a lot is going on, a lot is required of you, decisions, hard work, commitment. And the moon in Aquarius does conjunct Saturn and square Uranus, so that feels like a lot as well. But now the moon has changed signs, it's entered the sign of Pisces. Now Pisces is very different. Pisces is all about going with the flow, it's a very creative energy, and the moon likes to be there. So the next 2.5 days are more easygoing, more go with the flow, more about indulging in creative things, spiritual things, things that help us connect with ourselves more. So that's the energy. It's an easier energy than what we have been going through. The moon will, however, make certain difficult aspects. We'll talk about those, but it's an easier energy overall speaking. And it's more about going with the flow. Now, as soon as it enters the sign of Pisces, the moon is going to make a slightly stressful aspect. So let's see that. It is going to square the nodes. The moon is here. It's making a 90-degree angle with the north node and a 90-degree angle with the south node. So any planet that comes in this position square to the nodes is highlighted, is magnified. And Pisces is a very sensitive sign. So we could be feeling very emotionally sensitive. Our emotions could be very magnified at this point. So there is a tendency to feel a little bit overly sensitive and react to things that we wouldn't react to otherwise, because the moon is squaring the nodes. Our emotions are highlighted, and in Pisces our emotions are very sensitive. So this is a point where try not to react to something you wouldn't react to. If you're feeling all those things, let that sensitivity pass. And this could also be an energy that makes us feel like we want to escape our reality, or makes us feel a little low, because that's Pisces as well. So if that's happening to you, if you have that feeling a little low, or feeling like you're reacting to things that you wouldn't react to, maybe let this energy pass, because it will pass. But the positive of this energy is that Pisces is very spiritual and creative, right? So with this position, we can really tap into that creative side. We can really tap into that spirituality. So it's a fine line, So the potential is there, the energy is there, it just depends on how it manifests. Either overly sensitive energy that makes us feel low, makes us feel a little confused even, or an energy that instills a lot of creativity and spirituality. And then moving on, okay, this is midnight. I didn't mention the time. So this is about 11 p.m. midnight Pacific time, and that's pretty much it for today. Now, I do want to mention a few things that we are building up to, and the sun here is getting ready to square Pluto. We'll talk about this, and that's the first thing. The second thing is a positive one. Mars here is getting ready to trine Jupiter, so that's happening as well. And then another positive aspect, Venus here is getting ready to trine Chiron, more positivity. And then on Monday, Pacific time, Sunday night, but Monday, you can say October 18th, we have Mercury getting out of retrograde and Jupiter getting out of retrograde. This is important because this is when we'll have 4 planets direct. Pluto came direct on October 6th, Saturn on October 10th. Now Mercury and Jupiter both will come out of retrograde on October 18th. And that means more forward movement. That means the pace at which things have been moving will start to pick up slowly. But what we need to be mindful of is the Mercury Chiron opposition, because this can make us feel like we are hurting, like we have pain, like it can make us feel a little low as well, because when we hurt, when we feel that pain, we feel a little low. So, and this aspect will stay for a few days, because Mercury is going to start to go direct, but it's very slow right now, so it's going to be in this position opposing Chiron. And the chance here, the opportunity here, is to work through that pain and heal ourselves through conversations, through thinking things out, through writing out our emotions, or changing things up in our environment, doing anything Mercury related. Until October 18th, it's really not the best time to start something absolutely new. It is, however, a great time to work on things that you started in the past. So that's pretty much it for today. And I will give the big picture of 2021 before I pick the card for the day, and then we'll close it out. And the first thing about 2021 is that this year we have the Uranus-Saturn square. Now this does not happen very often. Last time it happened was 21 years ago. And this aspect is asking us to change, embrace the new, and embrace our true authentic self. And since these planets are squaring, that process of change and finding and embracing our true authentic self, Uranus, might feel challenging. It'll feel like there's a pressure, there's a pressure, because squares feel like that, but the positive is that they lead to growth, they lead to change. So that's why 2021 has this intensity to it. The second thing is that this year we are working on 2 astrological cycles that started in 2020, and long-term cycles. The first, the Pluto-Saturn conjunction of 2020. Now, these planets met up after 38 years in Jan of 2020 and ended a 38-year cycle and began a new one that will be with us till 2053. And this year we are understanding that. And the second is the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction. Now, these planets met up in December of 2020, and they meet up once in 20 years. And when they do, they begin a 20-year cycle. So we've stepped into that cycle, and this year we are working on those cycles. And 2021 is all about that. So it is a very intense year, because we have the Saturn-Uranus square, which is something rare. And 2021 is the year after 2020, obviously. And 2020, we had these 2 major new astrological cycles, right? So 2021 feels intense because of these reasons. And now I will pick a card for today, and then we'll close it out. Let's go with the top card. Abundance. I think today we must focus on the positive that we have, right? Because Jupiter trining the sun is about abundance and gifts and blessings as well. And when we focus on what we have rather than what we don't, we become more receptive to receiving abundance. So I think today we must focus on all that we have and all that's going for us, rather than all that is missing and all that is not going for us. Okay, we have 2 cards, so I picked out 2 by mistake, but it's never a mistake, is it? Blessings, change. This is Jupiter, right? This is Jupiter. Jupiter is trining the sun, Mars is there, the moon is there. Today is a good day. We will receive some blessings, or we we should focus on our blessings. And there is abundance, right? No matter what, we have some blessing, we have some abundance, we have something going for us. And that's what we need to focus on. And it could also be that this is the card that is blessing. This card is saying that, okay, Jupiter trine the sun, maybe time to receive some blessing, some healing, some wisdom, and change. 2021 is about change, right? So I think there is change. Change is the theme of 2021. And this to me is talking about Mercury retrograde, right? Because Mercury is coming out of retrograde on October 18th Pacific time. It's going to be Sunday late night, but for most of the world, October 18th, Monday. And this Mercury retrograde, the theme of this Mercury retrograde is transformation. Because as Mercury went retrograde, it squared Pluto and trine Jupiter, right? And Pluto is the planet of transformation and endings and beginnings and change. And Jupiter is blessings and rewards. So the theme of this Mercury retrograde was transforming our day-to-day, our health, job, thinking, communication, mind, social media, all Mercury things, which might have felt stressful, or we're still in that, which might feel stressful, but it will lead to a lesson or a blessing. And to me, this card is referring to that energy as well, because it's about transforming those things. And Jupiter is highlighted today with these two cards, blessings and abundance. And I think these cards are perfect for today. So I hope you have a great day, and I will see you all for the weekend horoscope now.